In just 5 days, many of us will be celebrating Mother's Day. But on May 12th, just 1 week from today, my son Jovan would have turned 21 years old. And as I sit here with a lease renewal I can't sign and a life that I have to pack into boxes, the weight of all of it feels impossible right now. It feels like yet another hit. But I'm recording this because I know he's watching me. And I'm choosing to keep moving forward, to stay positive, and to keep fighting. Not because I have it all figured out, but because I owe it to his memory to not give up on mine. I'm Erika Hernandez. This is Purpose, Not Pity. And today we're talking about the strength it takes to downsize your life while you're still trying to hold on to your soul. On Wednesday, I received an email from my leasing office. Basically, they were reminding me that my lease expires in July and that if I renewed the lease by tomorrow, May 6th, my rent would stay the same. And instead of feeling happy or looking at it as a win, because rent staying the same is a big deal, I felt sadness, disbelief, and my eyes instantly filling up with tears. I literally felt my chest tighten and a little piece of my heart break. Because the reality is, I might have to still walk away. And I know a lot of things can change in the next 2 months. But if I've learned anything with the loss of my son, it's that the only guarantee I have is this very moment. It's not 10 minutes from now, and it's not on May 31st when I finally have to give them my decision on whether I'm staying or going. For the last week, this is all I've been able to think about. And yesterday, while I was driving back from my parents' house, I just cried and cried and cried and cried, just thinking about having to let this place go. And I know that some of you may be thinking right now, well, Erika, it's just an apartment. You can move to another apartment, or you can move back when life gets better. But for me, it's so much more than just an apartment or four walls. It's about having to let go of something I didn't have to settle for. It's a place that was more than just good enough. It's a home where I didn't have to worry about whether the neighborhood was safe enough or the school district was good enough for my kids. It was a place I got to choose for Erika instead of mom. And when I sit back and rewind and play my life again, I truly believe that the day I decided to move into this space was the first time in my adult life that I didn't have to settle or think of anyone else before I made the decision. But renewing the lease right now is holding on to a view that I can't afford. And I can't continue to afford losing sleep over it, dreaming about it, and continuously thinking how I'm going to pay for this apartment every month without it affecting my mental health. And underneath that sadness, disappointment, and heartbreak, there is anger and resentment towards survival decisions that I had to make years ago that I'm still paying for today. And one of those decisions is my car. Because maybe if it wasn't for my car, I could afford to stay in this apartment. I could figure out how to stay in this apartment. I drive a tired 2020 Kia Forte that is costing me $825 a month. That number is a result of a loan that I took out against the car to keep my kids fed and a roof over our heads because I refused to ask for the help I actually needed. If it wasn't for that one expense, I might not be walking away from this home. But the reality is, I'm stuck with the car. I can't get rid of it. And I don't know what I'm going to do next. I don't know where I'm going. I have exactly 2 months to figure it out. And maybe it's an efficiency, living in somebody's garage or backyard. Maybe it's a studio. Maybe it's putting everything I own, including my car, into a storage unit and flying back up to Jersey for a few until I figure out my next move or God performs a miracle. And I'd be lying to myself if I say I'm okay with not having the blueprint finished before I start moving. But I have to come to terms with believing that my wealth isn't my square footage or a car payment that haunts me every single month, but instead in my ability to breathe. We've been taught that growth only moves in one direction, and that's up. Bigger house, better car, more. But maybe as hard as it is, we need to make our lives smaller so we can eventually get bigger. Maybe it's clearing the sight of the broken buttons and the haunted debt so that I can finally build something on a foundation that doesn't collapse every time the wind blows. Maybe my next chapter isn't about the apartment, but the woman who is living in it. And if I have to move into someone's backyard to get my power back, and to stop a cycle of needing to be saved, then I'll have to look at it as a strategic move. And I have to continuously remind myself that I'm not shrinking. I am simplifying the battlefield so I can finally win the war. I think we need to give ourselves permission to simplify. Give ourselves permission to be a hot mess while you're under construction. You are not a Kia. You are not your rent. You are the one who survived the fire. And that person is more than enough, even in a studio apartment. Thank you so much for being here. If this conversation met you where you're at, I invite you to sit with it. And then share it with someone navigating their own impact. You can learn more about the journey at byerikahernandez.com. And remember, no one is coming to hand us the stillness we are waiting for. So we find our own way through together. Until next time, forward intentionally.